Hey everybody, it's Monday, December 5th, 2011. It's about 7:25 p.m. And as you can probably see, we do have our tree up now, so that's one thing taken care of. We've got a few other decorations up. You'll see those probably in another video. But I'm here to talk about the bowl schedule, the NCAA college football bowl schedule that was recently announced yesterday, which was Sunday, December 4th. Now, first of all, before I get into that, I want to talk a little bit about the BCS situation. Now, you probably saw my video where I talked about, where I asked the question, is the BCS heading for controversy? And yes, it is headed for controversy. Because even as they mentioned in the BCS selection special and in the bowl selection special, both which I combined and recorded as one last night, you're probably asking yourselves what can be done, what has to be done. I mean, even they on ESPN and all that and all those sports channels are saying the same thing. Something has to be done. And I figured something out, just my little solution to it, and that is, it's what I call the drop 5. The drop 5 basically is, let's say you're in the top 5 and you're all undefeated. If you lose one game, you drop 5 spots. That's it. When it comes to the BCS rankings, you drop 5. So in other words, let's say if you were LSU and Alabama and we had that first matchup earlier in the year, and Alabama lost, and what were they, number 1 at the time? They could have dropped, if they had something like a drop 5 system added in, a stipulation added into the system, then Alabama would have dropped to number 6. Now if LSU would have lost, they would have dropped to number 7. In other words, it opens the door for the other teams, whether they have one loss or not, that are ranked higher and who win. So that would be my solution. So tell me if you agree on that. But anyway, let's talk about some of the bowl games. Let's talk about the bowl games here that have been announced. Now, there are going to be 3 games. Now, the bowl season starts a week from this Saturday. That being December 17th. Now, here's the bowls that will kick us off on December 17th. At 11 a.m. Pacific time. I'm going by Pacific because that's where I live, the Pacific Coast, the West Coast. At 11 a.m. Pacific time, we kick off with the New Mexico Bowl. It'll be Temple and Wyoming. It'll be Wyoming's second trip, apparently, from what I saw last night, to the New Mexico Bowl. So Temple and Wyoming. That's going to be pretty good. Then that's followed up at 2:30 Pacific, that's right, 2:30 Pacific, with the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. That's a mouthful right there. Famous Idaho Potato Bowl, otherwise known as the Humanitarian Bowl, now known as the Idaho Potato Bowl. It'll be Ohio and Utah State. So yeah, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, Ohio, Utah State, that will take place in Boise. And then, I'm just trying to count down, make sure I get the time zones right. At 6 p.m. Pacific time, we have the New Orleans Bowl. The New Orleans Bowl, which will be San Diego State and Louisiana Lafayette. That's right, Louisiana Lafayette in the first bowl game. So that's interesting. So those are the 3 bowls that will kick us off in the bowl season. New Mexico Bowl, Temple, Wyoming, Idaho Potato Bowl, Ohio, Utah State, New Orleans Bowl, San Diego State, Louisiana Lafayette. So those should be pretty good to kick us off. Then 3 days later, on the 20th, on December 20th, 3 days later, 18th is Sunday, 19th, on a Tuesday, that's right, that's what it is. On Tuesday, at 5 o'clock Pacific time, is the Beef O'Brady's St. Petersburg Bowl, or just the St. Petersburg Bowl. It'll be Florida International and Marshall. and that will take place in St. Petersburg, Florida. So that's on Tuesday, December 20th. Then on Wednesday, December 21st, is the San Diego County Credit Union Preseta Bowl, or Preseta Bowl, let's just put it that way. It'll be TCU and Louisiana Tech. Then, on Thursday, December 22nd at 5 p.m. Pacific, it'll be the Las Vegas Bowl, the Mako Las Vegas Bowl, or just the Las Vegas Bowl. So far, one of the longest running bowls of the modern era. It'll be Arizona State and Boise State. And you know, speaking of these last two bowls, it's kind of ironic. That both these teams who happen to be eligible for at-large bids, well, not TCU, but Boise State, it's kind of funny that they end up going to the bowls that open up the season. So in other words, they'll go into the bowls that I guess the bowl officials overall feel appropriate for them. But yeah, Arizona State will take on Boise State in the Las Vegas Bowl. And that's on the 22nd of December. That's the Thursday. And then on Christmas Eve at 5 p.m. Pacific, it'll be the Hawaii Bowl, the other longest bowl in the modern era. It'll be Nevada and Southern Miss. So Southern Miss, for winning the Conference USA title, gets an invitation to the Hawaii Bowl. So Southern Miss and Nevada on Christmas Eve in the Hawaii Bowl. And all these games that I just named off from the 17th to Christmas Eve are all on ESPN. And then the day after Christmas, on the 26th, which will be a Monday, at 2 o'clock Pacific time, it'll be the Independence Bowl. That's right, the Independence Bowl on ESPN2 of all places. ESPN2 of all places will have the Independence Bowl. It'll be Missouri and North Carolina. So North Carolina going from, I think, the Car Care Bowl last year, I think that's where they were, to the Independence Bowl this year against Missouri. Should be pretty good. That's at 2 p.m. Pacific time, the day after Christmas on ESPN2. Then, on the 27th, which would be a Tuesday, December 27th at 1:30 p.m. Pacific, it'll be the Little Caesars Bowl. That's right, the Little Caesars Bowl. It'll be Western Michigan and Purdue. That's on ESPN. And then following that at 5 o'clock Pacific time, it'll be the Belk Bowl. I guess it used to be something else. I can't think of it right now. But it'll be the Belk Bowl. It'll be Louisville against North Carolina State. So North Carolina State and Louisville will face each other in the Belk Bowl at 5 p.m. Pacific on ESPN on the 27th of December. And then on the 28th of December at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN, it'll be the Military Bowl, Toledo and Air Force. That should be a good one. And then following that at 5 o'clock Pacific time, a game that I'm looking forward to because it has a team from the Bay Area, it'll be California, Cal, if you will, in the Holiday Bowl against Texas. So that ought to be good. Both teams are 7-5, so that ought to be pretty good. So Texas and California, 5 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN on the 28th of December in the Holiday Bowl. And then the following day at 2:30 p.m. Pacific, also on ESPN, on the 29th of December, it'll be the Champs Sports Bowl. It'll be Florida State and Notre Dame facing off in what people have considered an old school matchup. So Florida State and Notre Dame will face each other in the Champs Sports Bowl on December 29th on ESPN at 2:30 Pacific time. And then at 6 p.m. Pacific time, also on ESPN on the 29th of December, it'll be Washington and Baylor in the Alamo Bowl. So Washington and Baylor who also had an opportunity in a large bid in the BCS, goes to the Alamo Bowl. They will take on Washington on December 29th, 6 p.m. Pacific. Then on December 30th on ESPN at noon, Eastern Time, which would make it 9 o'clock a.m., 9 a.m. Pacific Time. On December 30th, it'll be the Armed Forces Bowl, BYU in Tulsa. So Tulsa and BYU will meet in the Armed Forces Bowl at 9 a.m. Pacific Time on ESPN on December 30th. Then following that, at 12:20 p.m. Pacific Time on ESPN, the Pinstripe Bowl, the New Era Pinstripe Bowl, it'll be Rutgers and Iowa State. And that's at 12:20 p.m. ESPN on December 30th. And then following that, oh my goodness, 7:40, 5:40, at 3:40 p.m. At 3:40 p.m. Pacific Time on ESPN on December 30th, we will have the Music City Bowl, Mississippi State and Wake Forest. That's at 3:40 p.m. Pacific Time on ESPN. And then following that, at 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time on ESPN, the Inside Bowl, Iowa and Oklahoma. Oklahoma also had a BCS at large opportunity, did not get it. And then at 9 a.m. Pacific Time on New Year's Eve, at 9 a.m. on ESPN, Texas A&M and Northwestern in the Mighty Key Car Care of Texas Bowl. That's right, the Mighty Key Bowl is now in Texas, and it will be at Reliance Stadium. So the Belk Bowl, where the Mighty Key Bowl used to be is now the Belk Bowl, and the Houston Bowl is now the Mighty Key Bowl. Ironic. And that will be Texas A&M and Northwestern. It will be the last year that Texas A&M represents the Big 12 in any bowl game. And that's at 9 a.m. Pacific Time on ESPN New Year's Eve. And then at 11 a.m. Pacific Time on CBS, that's right, CBS gets this, New Year's Eve, CBS, it will be the Sun Bowl. It'll be Georgia Tech and Utah. Utah representing the Pac-12 in the first season as part of the Pac-12 will be representing the Pac-12 in the Sun Bowl against Georgia Tech. That'll be on CBS on New Year's Eve at 11 a.m. Pacific. And then at, I'm trying to make sure I get the time zones right, 12:30 p.m. Pacific Time on ABC. That's right, ABC gets it this year. It'll be Cincinnati and Vanderbilt. That's right, Cincinnati and Vanderbilt will meet in the Liberty Bowl at 12:30 p.m. Pacific Time on ABC. And then on ESPN, also at 12:30 p.m. Pacific Time, in the heart of San Francisco, if you will, at AT&T Park, will be the Kraft Fight Hunger Bowl. That's right, the Kraft Bowl, if you will, or the Hunger Bowl, if you will. It'll be Illinois and UCLA meeting at AT&T Park at 12:30 p.m. Pacific Time on ESPN on New Year's Eve. Let me take my time here because I may have to split this into two parts. Yeah, I may have to do that, but yeah, that's the Kraft Fight Hunger Bowl. They will be meeting Illinois and UCLA. The one thing people will argue about this one is UCLA is 6-7, a losing record, but yet they get in the bowl game. It's not the first time that's ever happened in college bowl games, believe me. But that's 12:30 p.m. Pacific Time on ESPN. It will be Illinois and UCLA. And then finally, rounding it out, it will be the Chick-fil-A Bowl, Virginia and Auburn, and that will be at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time on ESPN. Chick-fil-A Bowl, Virginia and Auburn on ESPN. Seeing how, basically, this is how far Auburn dropped from being national champions last year. So, part 2 is coming up, and that's when we're going to get to the New Year's Day or the post-New Year's Day bowl games, as well as the BCS ones.